Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad. This is episode 116 on January 23rd, 2019. I am Clyde, and today I'm joined by Michael Aston.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Trammell.
Hello, everybody from Washington, D.C.
And I abused Matt too hard by making him pilot the show for 2 weeks in a row, and he couldn't make it and said he would. Matt, we miss you. Come back soon. But without him, I mean, forget about him. How you guys doing?
Oh, doing good. Very good. Glad to be here.
Yeah, glad to be here with you guys. And like I said, I'm in D.C. and I'm actually having to wear long sleeves.
I was going to say, you live in alligator country. Do you even own long sleeve?
Yeah, well, I do have one winter jacket, which I've got with me, right? And, it's only trips like this that I actually get to wear it.
I figured you probably wear like dress shorts to work.
When I'm in West Palm, yes, that is true.
Yeah, that's how I usually do it as well. Today I wore sandals and I was like, my goodness, it's actually cold. My feet feel cold because it felt like it was 24 degrees.
Well,
that takes in the wind chill and stuff, but that's remarkably cold for Austin.
The other day I woke up and I was like, it's got to be 30 degrees in my room. What the hell's going on? And sure enough, I walk over to the radiator and it is bone cold. I walk out of my room. The rest of the house is super warm.
Yeah.
Apparently the radiator here got airbound, so it wasn't heating. Yeah. If I had slept any longer, I would have probably died from hypothermia. They would have found my frozen corpse.
Glad that didn't happen.
Gotta love living in the north of the wall. Here in White Walker country. But yes, why don't we get in?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how many of you guys have been waiting for the new upcoming Walmart streaming service?
Yes.
Well, the wait is over because it's not going to happen.
No.
Walmart has announced that it is ditching its planned streaming service to focus on Vudu, which obviously they purchased a number of years ago. What are your thoughts? Is this disappointing, exciting, obvious?
I think it's probably a smart move. They've already got something that people out, and they don't. And I don't know of anybody that is smart, which is probably a good thing. I only know Violet, which was a partner. Yeah, I mean they've got a thing. They just focus on that.
Yeah.
Well, what I wonder is, did they think, okay, well maybe we'll give this streaming thing a shot, and then they got to thinking, well, our customers actually cord cutters or not. I don't know if they are or not, but maybe they got to looking at it and decided, well, maybe most of our customers are not cord cutters, and maybe this is something that we would not be too successful at doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
it's a little disappointing, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I get where you're coming from. There's already so many services available out there. I understand why they ditched it as well. I mean,
Right.
they have something that provides value in the streaming world, allows them to offer things, and they've even indicated that they might be bringing some content to Voodoo.
Mhm.
So we'll see what they do with Voodoo, but I understand them not wanting to get into that space. There's a lot of competition at this point.
Yeah, and that's what Badweave was just saying in the chat. It's very, very. Yeah, they'd have to be super competitive and have a huge following right off the bat. Otherwise, it's dead.
Right.
And I mean, that's
Yeah.
unfortunately that's the kind of the market right now. Too much to choose from. So if you're out there contemplating starting your own streaming network, you might have missed the vote.
Yeah.
So hopefully
Right.
hopefully we'll see something cool from Voodoo. I mean, because they could easily add streaming, like free streaming stuff or a streaming subscription to Voodoo. I mean, most people already have a Voodoo account, even if they rarely use it. Now give them a reason to. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, Netflix has upped their price, as we know, getting it a little bit closer to in line with what you would pay for HBO. Perhaps competing against their biggest competitor? Not according to Netflix. They are saying that their biggest competitor is not the likes of HBO and Showtime, but Fortnite. Does this make sense? Is Fortnite Netflix's
Well, I mean,
competition?
Fortnite is probably one of the most popular things out there right now. If it was 5 years ago, then we would have said something else. But yeah, I could see that. And in to one point to what you were just saying, you said closer to the HBO pricing. It's actually more expensive than HBO now.
Is isn't HBO 15 a month?
Yeah, and it's now 16.
Oh, I don't even know what I
Netflix.
pay for this thing.
Yeah. See, that's what I was
Well, they,
saying. That's what I was saying either last week or the week before. This is the point where I don't think I want to pay it because I rarely watch anything from Netflix at this
Well,
point, and I'm paying 16. Going to be paying $16. I don't think I want
well,
to.
see, that's why you should switch over to T-Mobile, right? You'd pay less in a cell phone bill, and you would get Netflix included.
Actually, with my discount, I found out I'd be paying about the same, and I would lose my free HBO and my free DirecTV now, or my cheap DirecTV now. So
mm,
all for
yeah,
Netflix, but also it's the base package of Netflix, not the multiple account version I've currently got.
So
So
then it'd be a matter of which is more important to
that's
you,
why I
if
say
you
right.
I can't.
if you want to choose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean,
I'm unfortunately I'm probably going to be stuck paying for Netflix because kids and
Mm.
whatnot.
Uh,
But
well, and maybe you don't need to shell out quite as much for Netflix. You can go step down
no, I
and
can't. That's the problem is I need the multiple accounts. That's the only reason I have the high
okay.
model is the multiple accounts.
well, so you get what, like four with the regular, and if
No,
you need more than four
well,
with
no,
the
no, no concurrent streams. Even for with the regular, you can only have two concurrent streams at any given time.
oh, is it two?
Yep, that's
Mm.
Okay.
why I had to have the massive because I've got two kids with their
Yeah.
own devices, which means, grandma or whoever else is on the account
Right.
wouldn't be able to. So,
Okay.
Right.
yeah. But like I
Well,
said, I'm not happy. I am
yeah.
very not happy. I wasn't happy when it went up to the 13 that it's been for a little while, and
Mhm.
so
Yeah, I think this is while it does seem frustrating for certain people, to me it seems logical and it makes sense. I mean, when we look at other companies that do similar things like HBO and Showtime and stuff, most of them are sitting right about this price point. Netflix offers better features than most of them in that you can download and view on your devices offline. You can get 4K content and have multiple concurrent streams and profiles and stuff, which a lot of the others don't offer all of those features. Now, it all boils down to what matters to you from a content perspective. I feel like I get tons of great content out of Netflix. And so I really like Netflix. And so $15, $16 a month or whatever is no problem. On the other hand, HBO, I don't have a lot of stuff that I like out of HBO. There are a few shows that when they're on, like when Game of Thrones comes back on, I'll subscribe to HBO until it's over and then I'll be done. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we're getting to a point where Netflix no longer has to try to be a really cheap solution, because really the alternatives that you have from a viewing perspective are pretty high. So, but that's one thing that this article is focusing on is, you know, are they really competing to HBO? Are people going to buy or not buy Netflix in exchange for HBO, Showtime, or one of those other channels?
Well, we'll talk about Hulu in a little bit, but I mean, they've got extreme competition on all fronts, and I mean, they've got the impending release of Disney's platform coming. So, and then plus, I mean, with their market, with their last year's earnings being lower than expected, it's kind of needed. If they're going to maintain their stock price, if they're going to keep the investors happy, they have to recoup and get that money somehow. So it makes perfect sense that they would be doing that right about now.
I also feel like we're starting to see the effects of regulation. So I would hazard to guess that part of the reason that they're having to increase the price is the cost of production to produce all of their shows. And when you start to see places like the European Union requiring them to produce like 30 or 40% of their content in country, that means they have to open up a lot more shows, and they have to produce and create a lot more shows through these other countries, which is just going to increase the price of the service.
Or so they could just stop producing some of the stupid stuff that they've been churning out that is terrible.
Well, yeah, I mean,
stop wasting money on that.
They could do a net decrease. However, they've indicated that they feel like that's profitable to them. So, yeah, I mean, that's fair.
But I'm saying, if to your point, the cost increase is to help them recoup the cost that they blew on the terrible shows, then that's my point, saying, well, stop making the terrible shows. Don't make me pay for it. But
no, I don't think.
Yeah,
but that's not what I'm saying at all. It's not.
No. You were saying that they have increased production because they're making all of this stuff, and I'm saying that most of that extra stuff they're making is terrible. So scale it back.
No, what I'm saying is they have to make the extra stuff. I know, because they have to have.
But in addition to that, there's a bunch of stuff that they're making that they don't have to make, that they could get the budget from there. Is what I'm saying. Right. So
it's possible. What do you think about Fortnite, though? I mean, specifically, their claim that they're competing, that their competition is Fortnite.
Oh, yeah. I actually, it's one of the most watched things right now via Twitch. And then also, if you're playing Fortnite, you're not watching Netflix. So,
right.
I agree.
But it's two different products.
Not really.
I don't.
Not really, because you're vying for people's attention.
I mean, that's
okay. Well, maybe I just don't get it. But I mean, to me, watching the TV show and playing a game,
it doesn't matter if it doesn't matter. That's like saying TV, like a TV sitcom and a movie are two different products. But if you're sitting at home watching a sitcom, you're not at the theater. watching
Yeah.
a movie.
Matt's
Kind of apples.
Matt-
and oranges.
It doesn't mean I won't watch that movie though.
yeah. Matt's summary is that effectively it's all the things that are vying to occupy your free time.
Yes.
And so you have X amount of free time. If Netflix can capture 40% and Fortnite is catching 60%, Netflix is losing to the person that they see as their competition. And that seems to be the equation that they're looking at is Fortnite is capturing a huge percentage of people's free time because of Twitch, YouTube, and whatnot, where you're watching it and playing. So it's kind of hitting people double.
Yeah.
Well, if that's truly how they feel, then what's next for them? Are they going to start developing video games?
No, they just need to come up with something that's enticing enough that you go, you know what? I'm not going to play Fortnite right now. I'm going to watch Netflix.
Right. Or, maybe they're cueing us into the fact that they're going to start doing their own video game streaming service on Netflix.
But see, I think that goes back to my point, right? Is I'd still view these as two different products, right? I understand they buy for your time, and you're still spending your time, or if you're doing one or the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I like to play golf, and maybe I like to go watch TV.
No, I don't necessarily.
I don't view that as the same thing.
I don't
because it takes up
necessarily
my time.
agree. I don't necessarily agree with their point, but I understand the point they're trying to make. Is saying that they were trying to diss HBO and say no, they're not our competition. All those kids that are playing Fortnite and not watching Netflix, they are our competition, or people watching Fortnite, or people that are at a coffee shop talking about Fortnite. That's and it was meant to be more of a diss to HBO, which, as Tom pointed out or recalled on Monday, go back about 6 years. Hey, thanks for the follow, Riplats. But go back about 6 years, and HBO dismissed Netflix by calling them Albania. And this was their way of getting back.
Right. One thing that I do think is really interesting here is the idea of free time occupation. And, we had a number of shows that failed, surprisingly, in the last year, movies specifically. And I do think it's interesting and potentially worth considering that part of the reason some of these shows may have failed and not succeeded as much as was expected is not just because of the competition in the movie space, which is your traditional look. It's like there's X number of dollars going into movies, and did we capture the percentage we expected? But are people going to go see as many movies when they have so many alternatives to the movies, like staying at home and playing video games, watching Twitch, or playing video games and things on their device and stuff like that? Am I going to go to a movie theater where I get isolated from that social environment?
Yeah, I do think, in terms of buying for free time, I think, a certain demographic, which I'm not in, but will probably always have a high value on playing the video game. So if you're of a certain age, do I play a game or do I watch Netflix? There's probably going to be a lot of times when I say, a video game would be better. Right?
Just remember, your demographic gets smaller and smaller every year as they drop off on the high end. Which is soon to be my demographic.
Sadly, that's true. One day you just wake up and you realize the road ahead is shorter than the road behind you. Right.
Well, that's better than waking up and finding out you went off the road.
Well, that's true. I'm still here.
Hey, let's move on.
All right.
Yeah. So here's the real question. Do we have enough devices in our cars to talk to?
Nope.
Because there is now one more. Spotify, well, maybe not quite now, but soon. This year, Spotify will be releasing a in-car music player, and it will have voice control.
So it's an additional device that I need to be able to talk to Spotify in my car that I already talk to through my phone.
Yeah. Well, so it seems like you are already doing this, right? Like you have Android Auto, right?
Yep.
So you're utilizing Android Auto to talk to your phone and control your car's stereo and everything that plays through it. This is for those of us that have maybe a Toyota that doesn't have Android Auto and maybe didn't shell out for the fancy in-tune stereo system. I'd be able to hook this up. So this is interesting to me. I've been watching and waiting. I'm asked for an invitation to get the Echo Auto so that I can do this same kind of thing. So seeing another company come out with something that competes, interesting.
Well, I mean, I assume does this connect? This is either going to connect via Bluetooth or via like a 3.5 millimeter. And
no, it's through Bluetooth, so okay. You won't need the aux
but that goes back to my point. If you've got Bluetooth in your car, you can already do this with any phone, regardless of brand. Yeah, because you've either got the Apple iPlay, is it CarPlay, CarPlay or Android Auto. I mean, yeah.
Well, I feel like for me, I do have Bluetooth in my car, so I can play music through my car from my phone. But the voice controls don't seem to be particularly great from a music perspective, and that may be partly a learning thing. But I often find that I can't get it to play the song that I want or whatever. But I also don't use Spotify, and maybe that's the issue. Maybe Google integrates nicely to Spotify and can play music through it. And this is a Spotify device, so it would have all of the functionality.
Well, I mean, or are you comparing to the Echo, or I mean, comparing to the Amazon Music thing, or?
So I do both Amazon Music or YouTube.
Because I saw how well that was working the other day. But yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess if there's somebody that'll use this. I don't know who it is. I'm not the target demographic, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think most people are going to let their smartphone drive that, right? As opposed to having yet an extra device to put in there. I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming that Spotify did some sort of marketing research that says, oh, hey, we could, this will give us a few more users if we offer this device. I would question that marketing research, but I don't know. If it's good for them, it works great. But yeah, I think I'm with Clyde on this. I'm certainly not going to be buying one.
Yeah, I mean, if you've already, like you said, if you have to have Bluetooth in your car to make this work. If you have Bluetooth on your radio, you're probably already using it to play Spotify,
right?
Using a different service. So
yeah, Spotify shows up on my CarPlay. So I mean, why would I need to buy this device?
Yeah, I mean, and like in other cars before I had Android Auto, I was using Spotify in the car just over Bluetooth. So
right,
I just had to control it on my phone. Or, whatever. Okay. Rock on. Pun intended.
Well, so Sling TV is bringing a new feature, and they're going to bring it to the Apple TV. Personalized recommendations for your TV shows. This seems like a revolutionary new feature to be added to a streaming TV service.
Yeah, that's interesting. So,
I kind of feel like this is the kind of story we usually tell about Apple, right? Personalized recommendations is a new thing. Am I incorrect in assuming that like everybody else seems to already have this?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I mean, Netflix does it, Hulu does it, right?
YouTube does it.
Even
Yeah,
Sandy
yeah,
Krabs, do it. Let's do it. Let's Sling TV. Yeah. Um,
yeah.
They still don't have profiles on the Apple
I mean,
TV though, so you can get personalized recommendations for you and everybody else that uses the TV, not for you.
hmm.
Well, in my household, we tend to watch it as a family, not as individuals.
Well, that works out nicely for. I mean, you only have
But
two still at home though, right?
yeah, well, it's just me and my wife now.
Right. So, I mean, you no longer have kids at home that are watching different kinds of things and kind of screwing up. I mean, I have young kids, so yeah, if I were to get recommendations, all I'd be getting recommended is Pokemon and Star Wars Rebels, which I enjoy both of them enough, but there are other things that I want to see, and I also don't want my kids recommended to watch those.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is, should that profile be on the account of the app that you use, or should it be on the device? I would argue that it probably should be on the account, on the app that you're using.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's the app on the Apple TV, right? That you are using, the Sling TV app on the Apple TV. So if I'm using the Apple TV, I'm connecting to a TV. Probably more than just myself is going to be using that device, right?
Yeah.
So I would expect that I could choose a profile like I can with YouTube or YouTube TV or any of the other services that I use. So I feel like
this Sling TV doesn't have profiles.
Just so it doesn't on the Apple TV, which is probably why they're choosing to bring the customized recommendations there first. On other devices, they do have those. It's like you got to choose what you want.
Hi.
Hey, look at that.
So I'm sitting there. I had trying to buy time till I get video from Matt because otherwise the overlay was going to be completely broken.
I'm sorry. I'm not here.
We're also in post show right now.
We're still in post show, by the way. Yeah.
Because now we just switched to a different.
Sorry.
Because we weren't on here.
And we can unstrike Matt's name in the show notes now.
No, he's still got one strike.
So what did I miss?
Everything. We're done.
Oh.
We're done.
Well, not really.
We are really
what's
slow
up, Mike?
because you're not here to keep things moving. So, we've talked about Sling, we talked about Netflix and Vudu and all of these others, but the real question, as Netflix indicates, isn't about streaming services. It's about video games. So, who's going to be the Netflix for video games? Which is to say, who's going to be the streaming solution for video games?
Many people have tried.
Sounds like not only have many tried, but a lot are thinking about getting into the business. So
this was a story that the Engadget put together. It was basically like an editorial they do every once in a while, and they point out the fact that this has been a thing that a lot of different companies have been trying to do. They want to become the next streaming service for video games. Essentially, hey, why do we have to have these expensive computers attached to our TVs to give these amazing displays if you can instead get something that's interactive and streaming over the internet? And quite frankly, it's gotten to the point where that kind of technology has been proven. We've been seeing all kinds of different people doing it. We have all different kinds of players that are ready to get into it. And the question becomes, who's going to be the reigning champion when it comes around? And they point out a whole bunch of different options. Like we see the Verizons talking about it. We saw Google literally streaming over the browser. NVIDIA's been doing their thing. So we don't know what's going to end up happening here. Is this going to be the future, or and if it is going to be maybe a type of way of playing video games in the future, who's going to win?
I don't
Me.
know. I'm still waiting for someone to do it in a way that actually works, and not only in certain circumstances. So I don't know.
I claim that I am going to win because I am going to be using one of these services and not having to pay a lot of money to upgrade my computer every 6 to 12 months to
Aren't
be
you
able
already?
to keep up with
Weren't
quality
you
video.
just using one of these services?
I was. I mean, I have tried the Google streaming.
Oh, that's what it was.
Stream
Yeah.
or whatever it was. I played it a bit before I got my Nintendo Switch, and haven't gone back to it since then. But I actually quite liked it. There were definitely some issues that needed to be resolved in order for it to be a truly viable solution for me. But I think that when somebody masters this, whether it be 5G becoming ubiquitous or just a better algorithm for handling the compression on complex scenes like water and particle effects and stuff like that, which is what was killing it most for me, was when I was in scenarios where there were a bunch of particle effects due to water and ocean spray and rain and stuff like that. Whoever manages to get past those issues, or whatever technology allows that, this is going to be huge because it's going to free people up to do what they want in a lot more places. Like I said, I can see people playing AAA titles on their phones utilizing this kind of a technology.
Yeah.
So
every
So
game
great.
every game I see on here is like 5 years old. Or more.
Well, so, I mean, I think you're just getting an ad there.
No.
So let me ask you guys about this, right? I mean, so are we saying that this would be a service to play video games, or would it also be a service to where you watch video games? You know, watching other people play, I guess.
The watching video games already exists. Twitch is what it's designed to do that.
Well, that's what we're basically using right now.
So, okay, so I guess what I'm trying to say is, so watching video games, do you think that is going to be as big as watching,
it already
say,
is
shows on
That's
Netflix?
all my kids do. My kids don't watch.
Okay.
They just watch other people play games and do
Okay,
their thing.
so then does that mean the future holds that when they have the Academy Awards, they're going to add the category Best Video Game as well?
I hope so.
Maybe not the best video game, but they'll probably add best streamer.
Well, in a way, you kind of have that because you have the video game award shows for the specific video games, and you have the best streamers. Twitch does their own little streaming awards, and Games Done Quick does the speed runs, and so totally this kind of thing kind of already exists. But for the idea of we're blending between what is a video game and what is a movie with things like Bandersnatch.
Well, they already do in the Grammys. You can get best soundtrack, video game soundtrack. And same thing, Academy Awards, they do have for like game production, like soundtracks and stuff, sound designers and voice actors and stuff.
Right, but I mean, the best actor for a video game is.
Well,
I mean, is that where we're going? I mean, I don't know really.
Yeah.
But,
so that's an interesting question, especially as we get more and more cinematic, right? The voice acting in video games is now rivaling what you get in animated TV shows and animated movies, and that voice acting is really, in some games, absolutely outstanding. So it wouldn't surprise me to see that kind of evolution happening. I don't necessarily feel like that has sway to this particular
Academy
story.
Award, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Well,
Vimy Award for Best Voice in a Video Game goes to J.K. Simmons for his part of Cave Johnson in Portal 2. I mean, totally. I could totally see that happening.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, I think I could see it happening too, because I can remember it wasn't all that long ago when getting awards for animated movies was thought of to be strange.
But that's what I was gonna say. Academy Award, no. Emmy or Golden Globe or something like that. Oh, absolutely, I could see that, because the Academy is very. I mean, it was not that long ago that movies of a specific like racial or diversity couldn't participate in most of where it's, I mean, they're very, and also you have to be part of the Academy to choose who's and they're not going to allow that in without a fight. But like I said, Golden Globes, Emmys, I can see it.
Yeah.
Cool. Interesting.
And as far as the different streaming services go, as far as streaming games, that technology and who's going to win that, I don't know who's going to win. We've got big companies like Shadow, which are trying to do this on the PC and are actually doing a pretty awesome job at it. And as Clyde said, he wants to be able to use it wherever he is. They're trying to cover the entire world. So we'll see if they can do that. Nintendo is doing the streaming service of AAA games. I mean, the most recent Assassin's Creed was... And the same thing was Google did, was on the streaming service. That's a brand new game. In fact, it was on Google's streaming service before it was available on PC as a test, kind of as a, it'll do AAA games kind of explanation. So it's not that it's not possible to do these things. You're seeing the older games because what you're seeing is a lot of these companies are out there going, I really don't want to give our brand new title, which we're going to charge $60, $70, $80, $90, $100 a month for, so you can stream it for $20 a month. That doesn't seem like a good deal for them. So they tend to let their last year's catalog be their premier games.
All I know is if I sign in and Castle Storm doesn't play well, that's like the lowest quality you can get. There is no hope for anything else. So that's all I'm saying.
All right, fair enough.
I'm nothing against Castle Storm. Castle Storm is a lot of fun, but I could probably play that. Or I used to play that on a Xbox 360.
Are you mean Castle Crashers?
Oh, this says Castle Storm. I was thinking of Castle Crashers. Yeah. But I think it's the same game. I think it's a new version of the same game. So never mind. I don't know. I just see the over 100 games thing here, and it's all old stuff. So, all right, let's move on.
Okay, so Machinema's YouTube channel. It's a pretty outstanding collection of user-created content. Really good stuff on there.
Yeah, I love that stuff. That's good stuff.
Yeah. Have you been watching it recently, Matt?
It's been a while. I've watched it a long time ago. I was in some of that early World of Warcraft Machinima a long time ago, but just because. It's kind of cool stuff. Yeah.
Red versus Blue.
Red versus Blue. That was a great show. I love that. That was hilarious.
That's great. Don't go try to watch it now, though. Apparently, it's kind of gone. So it has fallen to the wayside of control and power of a big brother.
It's not really gone. It's just no longer available on YouTube, where previously you could just go to YouTube. Machinima was pumping the stuff out there. AT&T recently purchased Machinima, so they have taken it down from YouTube. Where it's gonna reside, where it's gonna be available, we don't know yet. But not to say it's gone. Service. What's that?
Well, it's YouTube channel. The content on the YouTube channel is gone.
Yeah, but it will be. It should be available someplace. Otherwise, there's no reason for them to have taken it down. So they've got a reason. Mainly, AT&T kind of views YouTube as a competitor. Probably don't want to put their new property on their competitor's website. And there's a following. They're probably counting on the fact that there is a following, and wherever they move it to,
People will
the
go there.
followers will follow.
Yeah.
Who
So
will
yeah.
follow the followers?
Do you believe that's true? I mean, do you think that they'll follow, or do you think that
Some will. Some won't.
that I mean, this move has definitely frustrated the community. A lot of people have put in a lot of effort into these, and having them go away is
I
kind of
think the
a-
way they
a
did it is
unpopular move.
problematic. I agree that the way they did it was problematic. They should have waited until they had a plan, and then they could have
communicated that
communicated,
plan.
hey, as of this date, it will no longer be on YouTube, but it will be available here,
for free.
or whatever. Yeah, and
Yeah,
so
but what you end up getting is I'm concerned for the brand, at least, that a lot of people are just going to say, "Screw it, we're done."
but wasn't
we'll go
wasn't
other places.
Machinima its own site? They were just
So.
dual posting the stuff out on YouTube? Because I swear Machinima was its own site that you go to and watch it, and you should still be able to go there and watch it there. It was just people were watching it on YouTube. You know,
Yeah.
like Rooster Teeth. Rooster Teeth has their own channel. You can watch stuff on Rooster Teeth, but
Yeah.
most people watched Red versus Blue on YouTube.
Right, but it provided a repository for similar types of content to be shared to everybody. So while some channels, some of that content was effectively only available on Machinima, the rest of it is multiple hosted, right? Like it's on the Red versus Blue channel as well, and so you could go see it there and on the Machinima channel. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that, like, if that's the way your users are getting to your content, it's frustrating for you to have it just disappear without.
Yeah, and I
having that
agree.
content.
I agree. There should have been a plan. There should have been communication. Who knows? I don't.
Me neither. Bring it back, AT&T, somehow.
Yeah,
Direct TV.
and
Yeah, I
hopefully you
watch.
haven't.
My parents are like, "What is this machine anime channel that popped up now on DirecTV now?"
You know it.
Although my
It'll
dad would
happen.
actually kind of probably enjoy it. He would have no idea what's going on, but he would actually probably enjoy it. So, okay, Viacom. What did they buy
Yeah.
now?
Well, go ahead.
So it looks like Viacom has been looking for a way to introduce their own streaming service into the various services out there, and they decided to open up their checkbook and decide that what they were going to do is buy an existing streaming service. And what they decided to buy, to me, seems like a very interesting move in buying the Pluto.tv service. Pluto.tv is going to be now a fully owned subsidiary and independently, according to what that's written here, an independently operated subsidiary of Viacom, which means that it's not going to change at all, is it? This free service that gives you all the cool stuff with only ad support. It's not going to be a change at all.
Well, I mean, if you look at the channels that currently appear on Pluto doesn't have any right or any ownership of those, so they shouldn't. I don't think they even have the right to charge people for the ability to watch those channels. So if Viacom decides to make this a paid service, then they would likely have to drop most of the channels that Pluto carries. If the way I see this going, and I think this is a smart move for Viacom because people already use Pluto.
Right.
I have seen Pluto on TVs and more restaurants lately,
Mhm.
especially Old Chicago. And this may break here in a second, but I have a feeling that if they do decide to go with a ad or a subscription model, it will be
Mhm.
for additional content. So you log into Pluto, you get the stuff you normally see on Pluto, and let's see if we can fix that. There we go.
Hey,
Hey, there
You
you
get
go.
the stuff you normally get on Pluto, but uh, additionally, if there's this other stuff, if you want that, you can subscribe for $5 a month or whatever. So I don't think it's a bad thing as long as they don't really mess with the Pluto ecosystem too much.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, if they don't mess with it, and even if they do mess with it, but in a way of like adding their own Viacom specialized
yeah.
channels in
Mhm.
there, essentially, that's genius.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
totally makes sense. If they do mess with it and add, one of the things people are worrying about is adding a lot of ads to it, a lot more than there are right now, or at making it so you have to pay for it or have to sign in for it, which is the beautiful thing about Pluto. You don't have to do any of that.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Now, I just happened to, like, last night or the night before, go into our room where the game consoles are, and on the system was Pluto TV, where my son was obviously turned it on. He was apparently watching Superman 2.
Is
And I
that the
sat
one
down-
where Superman's drunk at the bar
Yes,
because
Mhm.
nobody loves him and everybody hates
human,
him?
and he doesn't understand. Yeah, well, I don't know if he's drunk at the bar, but
Or
he's
is that 3?
definitely. I don't know.
I don't know. The one
I
with
don't think I've
Richard
ever watched.
Pryor?
Yeah. No.
I would
Superman 2 was where they had General Zod.
Yes,
Oh.
General, bow to Zod. So, but it was like, oh, cool, this is an old movie, and it's actually halfway decent. I was watching the scene where the 3 villains were just simply blowing at the downtown New York, and the things are just being flown away, and it's totally campy and all that. But oh my goodness, that must have, because cars were thrown at buildings. Obviously, no wires. People were obviously walking exactly where they needed to walk in order to get out of the way for the car to smash into the building, and for not to get hurt, because that's the way you did it back then. I love Pluto TV because, I've forgotten all about that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's some stuff. I don't watch Pluto a whole lot, but I have over the years here and there. And yeah, like this is exactly the same thing I was saying about Walmart's streaming service earlier, is they already have a tool, Vudu. If they want to do a streaming service, they can just build on Vudu. Vudu has a built-in audience already. People that have accounts that wouldn't be angry if there was more stuff you could do with Vudu. If Viacom does the same thing with Pluto without damaging Pluto's reputation,
Yep.
it's hard to mess this up.
Yep.
But I
agree.
have faith in them
What?
messing it up.
Oh, yeah.
I said
do too.
it'll be hard to mess this up, but I have faith in them. So
Oh, that needs to be a title. Somebody make that a title. I have faith in Viacom. All right. Last story on here is a story that, how last week or 2 weeks ago, we had a big old announcement from Netflix that everybody's gonna have to pay more. It's gonna be $2 more for everybody to get Netflix. Because because they're figuring. I don't know why they decided to do it, quite frankly. All we do know is that it looks like Hulu is looking at this and going, "Ha, watch this," and decided to drop the price of their lowest price tier even further. Now it's it is as low as $6 per month for the ad included tier of Hulu TV.
Jimmy and I were talking about this before the stream, and at first he scared me when he said he got an email that Hulu was raising their prices, and I was like, I just got done with the whole I don't want Netflix, but I'm stuck paying for it. I don't want to pay this extra money, but I'm kind of stuck. I don't want to be paying more for Hulu. And it turns out that no, he's going to be paying like $7 more. But most of the Hulu users, which aren't live TV users, are going to save a few bucks. I don't think my price is going to change. I think I'm still going to be at $13 for the ad-free. But, you know, as long as my price isn't changing, I think this is a smart move by Hulu because they're like, hey, all of you Netflix
genius
people.
Timing.
Yeah.
This is genius timing because this is, hey, they just announced this. We could drop it $1 and everybody will look at us.
The only way this would have been better is if they could have timed it right before Netflix announced their increase.
Right.
Yeah, I think right after, if you ask me, feels better because you get because then you get the downer of Netflix's raising. Oh, but Hulu's cheaper. Because if I'm going to drop Netflix.
But also in certain lights, it seems reactionary and mean-spirited. Whereas you get the high road if you say, "Hey, everybody, we're gonna raise this one thing, but we're lowering everything else," and then Netflix comes out a couple hours later and says, "Hey, we're raising everything." You're like,
well,
but Hulu.
But I will say, being I'm the guy that's going to be paying more now, right? Yeah, $7 more. It's not enough to make me quit, really, but it does make me kind of pause and think. You know, okay, so $7 more, maybe not too big of a deal, but okay, how much more would they have to raise it before I say, hey, you know what? I'll just get my live television somewhere else.
Yeah, so that actually sounds like a pretty big hike to me, going from the current ad-free version, which was $44, and now it's $51. That's a pretty big jump, actually.
It is.
Especially since I've been hearing people complain about $40 a month for things like YouTube TV and things like that. I'm thinking to myself, man, 50. What are you thinking about 51? That sounds harsh as well. So I don't know.
Well, at least with the Hulu Live, you also get Hulu streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas YouTube, when there's not something on my DVR, I can't find anything to watch on it.
Right.
I mean, apparently I'm enjoying ad-free YouTube, but I don't watch a lot of YouTube. I prefer to watch stuff on my TV. So,
okay,
right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think Hulu raising its price would be a little bit easier to palate than if YouTube were. And Sling and PlayStation View, they've already been raising their prices like crazy. So, yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, there wasn't there a story about Philo planning to launch a co-viewing feature?
Yes, I believe there was a story about Philo doing a co-viewing feature. It says here that the Philo was looking to start up this new idea where what you could do is, as the primary user of Philo, you could start a show and get a special link and send that link to a friend that's not in your household. The person who received the link does not need to have any kind of Philo account, and they would be able to bring this up on their mobile device and be able to sling it from that mobile device to their TV, which basically means that, and apparently also what happens is the person with the original account has control of the stream. So if they hit pause, it pauses for the other side as well. So they're watching the same thing almost at the same time. Basically, it's your idea of the streaming service, the shared streaming service, but it's being done by the guys at Pluto. Not Pluto. I'm sorry, I looked at the wrong story. At Philo, Philo. They're not the same thing, are they?
So they can only share it with just one other party. Is that all?
Yeah, it sounds like it's one other person. So, and Wabbit immediately went there. Can we use this for a movie party?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I was thinking.
I mean, because we already technically do this. Oh wait, no, we don't.
No, you don't do that. No. Not
No,
at all.
we all drive like once a month. Everybody comes over to my house from all over the place.
Or
and
the remote, and they use their own service and
yeah.
watch the same thing as you do at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Yeah. Yep. But we like to talk over the computer because, you know, talking face to face is old. It's dumb. So, yeah,
cool feature.
I don't know. I mean, Netflix was doing this over Xbox many years ago.
There was like a third-party plugin.
YouTube was doing this recently.
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, that YouTube just or that was the thing they announced like last month was you can watch stuff together as a party on Facebook, but the problem is you have to watch it on Facebook, and that's become a absolute no for me. So.
Oh,
I thought it was Facebook videos that allowed you to do that. I remember that story, but not YouTube videos. But
no, I didn't mean YouTube. I meant Facebook.
It's
on
okay.
Facebook.
Facebook doesn't make any have a streaming service, not really.
Yeah, on Facebook Live or they've got that new thing where now you can watch it as a group with the person that was in the show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
If you're really into the show, that's cool.
Yeah, if you want to watch old episodes of Buffy with Sarah Michelle Gellar, there's certain times on certain days that you can.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, good on them for trying out this new cool idea because maybe they'll catch on. Maybe they'll finally be the one that actually it'll catch on with. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, doesn't hurt to try. So, and from what I've used of Philo, I like their service. It's for as far as the over top services go, I think it's one of my favorites. But yeah, so good for them.
Right.
Okay. Well, this point is the point in the show where we like to thank the people that went out of their way to help make sure that this show happens. And yes, I am talking about the patrons. The people that for whatever reason decided that they were willing to take some money and light it on fire just to make sure that we keep providing this week after week. But you know what? We say thank you. We appreciate it.
Way to sell it, Clyde.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you spend money on anything, you're pretty much just lighting it on fire. So,
wow.
We appreciate that you're doing it to our benefit.
Thank you for keeping us warm with the fire generated by your money.
Oh, you missed it. I needed that the other day because my radiator wasn't working. I woke up, it was 30 degrees in my bedroom. So, yeah. No, seriously though.
Were you burning our cash to keep yourself warm? Really, Clyde?
I had to.
Oh, no, Clyde, don't do that. Not unless the Patreons tell you, and they can tell you to do that by going to patreon.com/thevodsquad and give us money and say, Clyde, burn this.
All right.
Okay, then in that case, you can do it.
Sweet. I'll keep that in mind next time I almost die of hypothermia. So.
Use the money, buy a heater. Don't burn it.
Well, the problem is when it stops working and you're sleeping, you don't know it stopped working. Once I bled it, it was working again. But so all right. Yeah. Thanks to all the patrons. We appreciate your support, and we love having you around. Should we check in with Big Voice Jay? Now that we're back to three of us and it's not going to break it's the way I set it up.
If we have.
Welcome to your Movie Draft Minute presented by DiamondClub.tv for the week of January 21st, 2019. I'm your host, Big Voice Jay, brought to you by Corduroy Pillows. They're making headlines. Let's go to the scoreboard. Team Bond Squad's in last place with $308.8 million.
Oh.
Team Movie Party's in 5th place with $441.1 million. Team Game Night is in 4th place with $466.2 million. Team Ritual Mysteries in 3rd place with $492.7 million. Team Drunk Kids Gaming is in 2nd place with $556.2 million. And in 1st place with $605.7 million, it's Team Have a Drink. That's your Movie Draft Minute. All totals are record as of January 23rd, 2019.
Okay. Right off the bat, I want to say the doc finally shows my money for that RBG movie.
Yeah.
Just in time for me to no longer have enough money to be in the 4th place.
So in
I
other
think
words,
you did that on purpose. You wanted
No,
to keep me in 5th place.
No, no. I have nothing to do with that except for fixing it.
Yeah, so I never got to be shown in 4th place, even though I was technically in 4th place for like the last 3 to 4 weeks.
I completely agree. You were in 4th place, and we, the VOD squad, are permanently in 6th place.
You know,
Guaranteed.
although I have to say, I finally saw a trailer for Alita Battle Angel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think you did better without it.
Really?
Yeah.
You know it's going to make millions and millions of dollars.
I
right?
don't think it is.
Oh, you have no idea.
I think that one is going to do well, but
I think that during our next draft, we should get that for
Well,
half price.
It will already have been in theaters.
Well, that's possible. That's true. It's
Yeah.
coming out when?
It's like next week.
Alita Battle Angel is like next week, really?
Yeah, because we're at the end of the
No,
So-
next week is our other show. So why can't we have that instead? Wait a
No,
second. That
because
could be in
it's
this draft.
after the end. It's coming out in the next couple weeks. Because I saw the trailer. Let's see.
February 24th.
So,
So
I guess it's a few weeks out.
It's a few weeks out.
I was
Okay.
thinking it was like
That-
February 2nd.
I was going to say, if it was like at the end, like just the next week, I would be like, come on. But
Yeah.
okay. I mean, I would be happy to give advice.
Although
Well,
I thought
yeah.
somebody said they made her eyes smaller, but they were
No.
freakishly scary in the trailer
The
I
very
saw.
first version of the trailer, they are absolutely ridiculously big.
They were
And
in the
they've-
trailer I saw.
And in trailers since, they've actually toned it down a little bit. It's
Oh.
not as big as it was before.
Oh no,
So
these things were
whether-
like
Whether you saw the very first one, where literally. I mean, have you seen the picture of somebody like the size of the eyeball inside of an anime person's head,
Mhm.
and it's like as big as their brain?
Yeah.
If you based on
That's
they,
why I
they
watch
really
anime.
embrace that.
that's why I watched the anime.
Oh,
because
well,
of
then
the
you
eyes.
should like the big eyes then.
No, they were just scary. Hail to the chief says she won't see it because of the eyes.
Aw.
And I swear, they were supposed to be smaller now, but I think they showed us the original trailer.
Oh, okay, well, the newer trailers,
'Cause
they're still big.
I looked at pictures, and I'm pretty sure that they showed us the original trailer. Yeah, they were
Yeah, they were a
scary.
little freaky big, and people complained, and they decided to go back. I think this might be why it was delayed.
Oh.
They went back and redid
fixed-
the eyes. That would
They
make sense. but
they
that
made
makes
the actress get surgery to get her eyes smaller so they could reshoot all of her scenes.
I don't think so, but yeah, maybe that's what happened. Hey, if she gets extra money for the reshoots, good for her.
Oh yeah, they were paying her scale, so
Oh.
probably.
No, I want to congratulate Have a Drink and Drunk Kids Gaming. You guys have both done great.
What you
Good
don't
job
think
for
you're
doing-
going to get 300 million from Serenity?
No, I don't think we're going to get that in the 4 weeks. We're going to have Serenity. I don't think so.
I think we're going to get $3 million. from
No.
Serenity.
I expect about 60 million out of that in our 4 weeks. Not bad, but not great. Based on how things have gone for us and how much I really expected it to do at first. And actually, I don't think we had that. I don't remember when that. Maybe it just got moved. I don't remember. It was so long ago. It's okay. I am okay being in last place, and I will be. I did briefly just flip through the movies that are coming out next for the summer, and what will likely be in the next movie draft. There are a lot of heavy hitters in the summer for the summer. So this is going to be a very interesting movie draft. I'm going to enjoy it, and hopefully we perform better. Please. We just sucked it up. What's the prize you get for last place?
Humiliation, and you bring shame to your family. We go by the Japanese model.
Oh. I shall. Then I will have to redeem myself.
We have to sit and be quiet while the other teams just yell shame, shame, shame.
Yeah. All right. Well, talking about shame, I had make sure that wouldn't work. Shame.
Shame.
So, all right, rants and raves. What's going on, guys? What you got? Jimmy, you said that you had a rave. Being in DC, home of the Washington Bullets, the basketball team, they were the Bullets for many years, which was ironic because of all the gun violence and
Yeah. I get it. Great.
What's going on?
Yeah, so this past Sunday, it was the NFL playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And for Hulu, I was able to stream the first game, which was the Rams and the Saints. Got to watch that on the Hulu Live. But then the other game, New England and Kansas City, I couldn't get. But I could subscribe to CBS All Access and be able to get the game with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd been thinking about subscribing to this service anyway. And I think you get like a free week trial, which technically I'm still on right now. So so that's what I did. I subscribed to CBS All Access, and I'm going to try that for a while. As a matter of fact, I think I may even just go ahead and pay for the year, because I think if you do the year plan, I think it's like $60 or something like that, so for the whole entire year. So that's not too bad a deal, because I'm really into the Star Trek Discovery, which I just bought the first season, and if I subscribe, then I'll get access to the second season as well, right? So yeah, I think I'm still up in the air if I want to do the year subscription or not. But I think I'm going to, try this for a while and see if I like it. And yeah, I mean, so far I like it. I like how it's laid out. I like the on-demand service that it has. I mean, yeah, you do have the live streaming. I really don't care about the live streaming so much, except for maybe when it's a football game, mm-hmm. right? Or something like that, right? But yeah, I like it so far. I mean, so far so good. And the one thing I do like about it, there was me and my daughter, we watched Survivor, and there was one season that we didn't get to see. I forget, I think it was season 34 or something like that. And it's there, right? And so we both started watching season 34 Survivor, right? So just something that me and my daughter like watching together, right? But so it's there. So yeah, I mean, yeah, not too bad, for $5 a month. I mean, yeah, it's not too bad. $5 if you do the annual plan. I think it's a bit more if you do month by month. Right?
Quick question: did you make sure to run their terms of service past your lawyer?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure there's fine print in there that they actually own your soul now, and that's a binding. Even if you have forfeited it, even if you cancel your subscription. But I might be wrong, but they are the all-watching eye. So
yeah, well, that is true, right? That is true. Maybe I should.
The Big Brother we were warned of.
Hey, that's on that network.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
and they have a TV show called Big Brother.
Exactly. It's on purpose. All right, rock on.
No.
What about you, Matt?
So I'm not here,
I know.
obviously. I actually wasn't going to be here, but I'd still put in the notes something that I wanted everybody to be aware of, which I'm certain everybody watching this show is very aware of, because we are on the Diamond Club Network. But I just wanted you guys to let you know that I've been listening to the All's Well Night Attack album with Cogswell's music on there.
Where'd Cog Whistle go? He was just here a minute ago. He knew you were
Anyway.
going to talk about it, so he ran away.
Well, all I have to say is that it's hilarious and it's wonderful and it's an amazing album of amazing work by Cogswell. Congratulations on all the awards your accolades you're gonna get for this. Hopefully awards, that'd be awesome. And you guys should go to Google Play Music and see if you have any money in in a Google Play balance and just buy it there, because that's what I did. I just said, oh yeah, that's right, that's out today. As I said, we looked at it, and I just went, oh, well, how much to buy? And it popped up and said, you have a balance. You have available funds in your Google Play balance. I was like, sure, done.
Also,
I know that there's a lot of places that it's cheap, and I know that they're working on making it cost less on Google Play. It didn't hurt me at all. I hope that money goes to you guys and it's good for you guys. So,
and also, in addition to that, make sure you visit otfi.com. I just put that in the chat, or that Stephen Cogswell's Bandcamp page where you can buy his other albums. You can view his music. Also, his stuff is available on Spotify too. That album there has the stuff that he made specifically for Night Attack. He's got a lot more stuff out there. So, show the love. Go. You can support Cogswell at otfi.com, or, give him some listens on Spotify.
One last thing is, if you're listening to it, and I was okay, I'll turn this on, and I put it on my phone. I put it on my phone, was working on it, and it had this nice little intro by Brian and Jason and
Justin.
And Justin said Jason, and there was a nice little intro there, and and then it's like this awesome piece of music came on. It was great and it was wonderful. And then it started singing Balls Deep. And
Yeah.
I can't listen to this at school. That's right, I forgot.
Definitely not safe for anything.
Oh, it's safe for your own ears if it's good for you.
It's not even recommended for your own ears.
Oh,
So,
okay. Well, it's still funny. So
I mean,
enjoy it.
you're an adult. You're allowed to do whatever you want with your own ears, even if surgeons and famous people tell you not to. We do it on a daily basis.
Right.
So, yeah.
So go get the album. It's great.
All right. So, I've had a long-standing kind of, not really a ban, but avoidance of DC stuff, just because it never really interests me.
Okay.
And I saw Aquaman the other day.
Oh, yes. That piece of slime.
It was terrible.
Oh,
Absolutely terrible.
no wonder.
I
It's
mean,
doing so
I
well.
wouldn't even recommend it for a movie party. And we've watched some terrible stuff on the movie party.
Wow.
But that explains why it made so much money, because the Clyde, what did we call it last week? Was the
Clyde's Law.
Yeah, Clyde's Law. Clyde's Law. I absolutely despised it.
Everybody else is gonna love
Everybody
It's
said
gonna
it was
make
bad,
money.
but you come out being glad you saw it. I completely disagree.
So you got to the point with the
Alan, it was
octopus.
Aquaman.
So you got to the point where you were watching it, and it was an octopus playing drums, and you were not sold by that point. That was the point where you realized.
No. The worst part was I kept nodding off. Like, there were several points where I was fighting to stay awake. The whole movie builds up to this big battle thing, I think, because that's the point when he gets the trident thing, and they go off to was like a big battle starting, and then next thing I know, the battle was over, and he's standing there as king, and I'm like, oh, I guess he won.
Oh, you must have nodded off. I'm guessing.
Oh no,
I don't
was,
know.
I was asleep so hard that I had to be poked because I was snoring. That yeah.
All right. Well, Clyde's rule still applies. We
It
know
was-
that the Clyde's law.
You know, and the worst part is I like Jason Momoa. I really like Jason Momoa. They tried to go silly with it, like the kind of what they've done with the Thor stuff, and I think they went a little too far because it was so campy. It was, I don't know. Maybe I'd watch it on TBS, but
It'll be there eventually.
yeah.
Yeah, it'll probably come to Netflix before too
Although
long.
a couple days ago there was a movie that I didn't go see because I thought it was going to be too cheesy, too campy, called Central Intelligence. I finally watched it on TBS. That was the one with The Rock and Michael or Kevin Hart.
Yes, I've seen that one.
It was hilarious, and I totally wish I'd seen it in the theater. It was really funny. Yeah. So
It allowed The Rock to play basically the bullied kid, which something you'd never see him do. So.
although Hail to the Chief said that Jason Momoa was mumbling throughout the movie, she couldn't understand him. So I thought he just was talking like Jason Momoa, but I might be wrong.
Maybe he was speaking Dothraki.
No, there was no Dothraki. 'Cause that's very grunty, wasn't it?
Carl.
Yeah.
Drago. Yeah.
But alrighty. Hey, I think this is the point where we should probably start wrapping this up. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Matt, I'm not sure why you chased away Mike, but
I'm sorry.
I think it worked out in the end.
I didn't mean to scare him away or, make it him feel unwelcome or whatever. I really didn't mean to. Mike, I hope if I haven't offended you, and if I have, I hope there's something I could do to make things right. I'm sorry.
But yeah, no, and all of you, just a reminder, we have titles out there that need to be voted for, so stick around for the post show. And if you're watching this after the fact, we are here every week at Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central. And, join us. All the fun stuff happens live in the chat room. You get to submit the titles, and then you get to stick around and ask questions and, do all the cool stuff that doesn't end up on the what goes out post-processing. But yeah, guys, thanks, and I think we can wrap this up.
Have a good night.
Yeah, we'll see you later.
Bye, everyone.